It started on a sweltering Tuesday afternoon in late August, somewhere east of Flagstaff, Arizona. I've been a long-haul trucker for 11 years, running freight along the I-40 corridor between California and Texas. I'm 42, divorced. The road is the only thing that's been consistent in my life since my wife left. I know every truck stop, every diner, every shady rest area between Barstow and Oklahoma City. Or at least, I thought I did. I was hauling auto parts from Phoenix to Little Rock. Stopped at the Sunset Travel Center in Winslow to fuel up and grab coffee. About 3:30 in the afternoon. The sun was brutal. The parking lot was half empty. I was walking back to my rig, a white 2018 Peterbilt, when I noticed her, a girl, maybe early 20s, dirty blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail, wearing a faded denim jacket, despite the heat, carrying a small canvas duffel bag. She was holding a piece of cardboard. I couldn't read it from that distance. She caught my eye and gave a small, hopeful wave. I just nodded, got in my cab, pulled out. I don't pick up hitchhikers, company policy, and common sense. I forgot about her by the time I hit the New Mexico line. But the next day, I saw her again. I was parked for the night at a Love's in Santa Rosa, New Mexico, about 300 miles from Winslow. I was in the shower area. When I came out, she was sitting at a table in the small fast food area, staring at a cold cup of coffee. Same denim jacket, same bag. She looked up as I passed. Our eyes met for a second. I felt a jolt of recognition, and apparently, she did too, because she gave me that same small wave. I walked faster, got to my truck, locked the doors. I told myself it was just a coincidence. Only one interstate. Hitchhikers cover ground. It's not that weird. But it kept happening. Over the next 2 weeks, I saw her at every single stop along my route. A rest area west of Albuquerque, Pilot in Tucumcari, a deserted gravel pull-off near the Texas line where I'd stopped to check a strap. She was always there, not hitchhiking actively, just present, sitting on a bench, standing by a vending machine, walking along the edge of the parking lot. She never approached me, never spoke. She just watched. And that small wave became the most unsettling thing I've ever experienced. By the second week of September, the unease had grown into a constant, gnawing dread. I started deviating from my normal schedule, skipping my usual stops, driving further on empty tanks just to avoid pulling in somewhere she might be. It didn't matter. I'd see her at the next one. I remember one night near Amarillo. I pulled into a tiny, independent truck stop I'd never used before. A real dive in the middle of nowhere, specifically to lose her. I was the only truck there. I went inside, bought a sandwich, and as I turned around, she was standing at the end of the chip aisle, holding a bag of pretzels, just staring. That was the moment my rationalization broke. This wasn't coincidence. This was impossible. I walked straight up to her. "Who are you?" I demanded, my voice louder than I intended. "Why are you following me?" She just looked at me with these empty, tired eyes. "I just need a ride," she whispered. "Just a little ways. Please." "I can't," I said, backing away. "I can't help you. Stop following me." I left her standing there and drove all night, straight through to Oklahoma, running on adrenaline and fear. When I finally stopped at my company's yard in Oklahoma City to drop my trailer, I sat in the cab, my hands shaking, and I did what I should have done days ago. I pulled out my phone and started searching. I went back through my logbooks first. I keep meticulous records. I found the date I first saw her in Winslow, August 27th. I searched for missing woman Winslow, Arizona, August. Nothing relevant. I tried missing hitchhiker I-40. Still nothing. Then, on a whim, I added denim jacket to the search. A news article from a local Flagstaff website popped up. Dated May 12th, 3.5 months before I first saw her. I clicked it. My blood turned to ice. The article was short. A 22-year-old woman named Emily Sanderson had been reported missing by her family in Kingman. She was last seen at a rest stop west of Flagstaff on I-40 in early May. She was hitchhiking to see her boyfriend in Albuquerque. The article had a photo. It was her. The same dirty blonde hair. The same pale face. The same denim jacket. The article said she was considered endangered. No sign of her since. Police suspected foul play. There was an update at the bottom of the page. Dated June 3rd. The case was still open, but leads had dried up. They believed she was likely deceased. I threw my phone onto the passenger seat like it was on fire. I sat there in my cab, in broad daylight, surrounded by other trucks and the sounds of the yard, and I have never felt more alone or terrified in my entire life. I was seeing a girl who had been missing for 3 months before I ever laid eyes on her. A girl the police thought was dead. I didn't tell anyone. Who would believe me? I thought about quitting, but I couldn't afford to. I thought about changing my route, but all the freight goes the same way. So I got back on the road. I avoided looking at rest areas, avoided making eye contact with anyone. For 2 days, I didn't see her. I started to breathe again, told myself it was stress, exhaustion, a case of mistaken identity fueled by too much time alone. Then came the night of September 18th. I was on a run from Oklahoma City to Barstow, a straight shot, about 2 a.m., somewhere in the desolate stretch of I-40 west of Santa Rosa, New Mexico, the same area I'd seen her weeks before. The cab was dark except for the dash lights. My headlights cut a narrow tunnel through the blackness. And then I saw her. She was standing on the shoulder, right at the edge of the asphalt. Her thumb was out. Her duffel bag was at her feet. She was wearing that same damn jacket. I floored it. I wasn't stopping. As I passed, I glanced in my side mirror. She had turned her head, following my truck. And then, in the red glow of my taillights, she started walking. Not towards me, onto the highway, right into the lane. I slammed on my brakes, the air brakes hissing and screaming as the rig shuddered to a stop. I looked in my mirror, expecting to see her body, expecting to feel the thump I was sure I'd felt. The road behind me was empty. Nothing. Just the dark asphalt and the faint line of the shoulder. No girl. No duffel bag. Nothing. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I sat there, idling in the middle of the lane, for I don't know how long. Then, a tapping on my passenger side door. I nearly jumped out of my skin. I whipped my head to the right, pressed against the glass. Illuminated by the faint glow from the dash was her face. Emily's face. She was staring at me, her expression not angry, not sad, just desperate. She tapped again. Tap, tap, tap. I didn't think. I reacted. I threw the truck into gear and stomped on the accelerator. The engine roared. I tore down the highway, watching the mirror as the darkness swallowed the spot where she'd been standing. I drove for an hour, my eyes wild, my knuckles white on the wheel. I finally pulled into a closed way station, shaking uncontrollably. I called the police. I told the dispatcher everything. All of it. The sightings, the dates, the news article, the girl on the side of the road. A state trooper met me at the way station about 40 minutes later. Young guy, skeptical, but he took my statement. He ran the name Emily Sanderson. He came back to my truck and told me, very carefully, that she was still a missing person. Her case was cold. He asked if I'd been drinking, if I was on any medication. I told him no. He gave me a card, told me to call if I saw her again, and to maybe consider talking to someone about the stress of the road. They didn't investigate me, I don't think, but they didn't investigate her either. It was just another report from a crazy trucker, filed away and forgotten. That was 6 months ago. I quit the long-haul routes. I drive local now, in the city, where there are streetlights and people and noise. I still have the truck, but I can't look at it the same way. I can't look at the I-40 on-ramp the same way. There are things I will never understand. If she was real, flesh and blood, how was she covering hundreds of miles a day without a car, without being seen by anyone else? If she wasn't real, what was tapping on my door that night? And the question that keeps me awake more than any other, if the police are right, and she died back in May, then who or what have I been seeing for the past 6 months? And why, on that last night, did she finally stop watching from a distance and try to get in?